Hi, I'm Debbie Rake with your Employee Development Department, and I'm here to talk about leveraging our strengths in the workforce. Thanks for joining us for this Ed Talk. Marcus Buckingham, the author of Go Put Your Strengths to Work, it's a book that we use in our Top Gun strengths training, is always shaking things up in the workforce. He worked for many years with the Gallup organization, encouraging employees to challenge beliefs that may be limiting us from being and bringing our best to the workplace. If you were part of our Top Gun Strengths Training program, we shared many of the myths that Buckingham directed us to try to bust. There were 3 of them, and let me review those for you now. The first was, as you grow older, our personalities change. This is false. As you grow older, you become more and more of who you already are. If you were good at making friends when you were 5, you were probably even better at it when you're 25. If you loved working at numbers when you were in grade school, you're probably gonna be even better and love working with numbers as you get older and delve into your professional career. If you liked your toys organized in just certain ways, odds are you probably keep a pretty organized office and are maybe even better at organizing your work. Second myth, figure out what you're not good at and work at getting even better at it. Well, that's false. The truth is, we don't grow most in the areas where we're weakest. Quite the opposite. We grow most in the areas of our strengths. When we're working in an area of strength, there are 3 telltale signs I'd like to remind you of. First of all, you love doing a strong activity, and you can tell so because it generates a strong emotional reaction in you. You love it. Second, you can tell when you're engaged in something that makes you strong when you notice that you've lost track of time while you're doing it because you enjoy it so much. And the third is you naturally are inquisitive around areas where you're strong because you want to learn more and grow more and become even better in that area of strengths, right? 3. The best teams are made up of a bunch of well-rounded people. Well, that's a false myth also. The best teams are made up of people who've figured out what their strengths are, and they use those daily and regularly. And they have surrounded themselves with a team who are strongest in areas maybe where they're weak. So your team needs to find more ways to incorporate your strengths into the work for the team. So in this Top Gun to Go Ed Talk, I'll share how Marcus Buckingham, with co-author Ashley Goodall, have busted more myths, lies, if you will, to challenge us to bring our best into the workplace. Ashley and Marcus, in their book, 9 Lies About Work, debunk old school management myths and lies of the past, which have held us back from our full potential. Let's take a look at some of the insights from a couple of these lies, if you will, from work. The first, people care which company they work for. Well, the truth is people actually care about the team they're on and who their leader is. Leaders, we can create the team environment and the culture. The best leaders create environments of high trust and physiological safety. Those teams demonstrate the highest level of innovation and productivity within our agency. How do leaders do this? Well, first, they connect with what the team does to something that's meaningful and important. They show how the team is part of something bigger than each individual team member and grander, right? A little beyond the individual ego, if you will. So if you've seen any of these commercials, the Saturn Car Company, the Goodyear Tire, even Maxwell House Coffee, they're great at tapping into the emotions, using family, positive memories that mean a lot to the individual, and then they build trust and loyalty from there. A second way leaders can do this is to connect with each team member on a personal level and let them know and show the team member through your actions that they matter to them and to you and that they're important, and understand and care for them. Here's a second lie. The best plan wins. Well, the truth is the best team intelligence collectively wins. The best team leaders know that plans tell you where you are now, where you want to go, and where you're headed in the future. And they can help identify known obstacles that are in the way. They also know plans change the second that you cross that starting line. Leverage the wisdom of each team member and encourage them to share information. Create information sharing systems so that they can understand the current reality of what's going on in your team. Weekly, if you can, have check-in meetings. That's most powerful ritual team leaders. They have an opportunity to utilize that situational awareness from your team and understand where best to help out and connect with the team to build trust. Leaders should focus on 3 key questions. What are your priorities this week? What are your challenges? And how can I help you with them? Teams that get together regularly also, even if it's over just coffee or lunch or having a lunch together, they provide an opportunity to kind of check in. Research shows that connected teams are highest in performing and they're agile. These teams have the highest trust levels and are able to move quickly, right? Teams that hang out together, they're not to be underestimated. Here's a third lie. The best companies cascade goals. Well, the truth is, the best companies cascade meaning, back to that meaningful, what's important. The best team leaders connect the work with the team that's doing the company's vision and the purpose through the meetings and through storytelling as a leader. These stories leaders tell, they communicate the value and what's important. Thinking of that golden circle of Simon Sinek. If you've not heard that, maybe you could be part of that workplace culture training. Lie number 4. The best people are well-rounded. Well, the truth is the best people, they're kind of spiky, right? They got their strengths and maybe not areas of strength. I believe this one to be absolutely true. Leaders like to talk about how great the diversity is on their team, and not just the balance of male and female and generation or educational background, but the diversity in skills and how their team different members think. That's a key to high-performing teams with innovation and creativity that's essential. Remember, people's strengths are what they're passionate about and what makes them feel motivated. As leaders, it's huge to be able to identify each person's strength and to adjust the roles and responsibility so that each team member feels their work calls upon them to use their strengths every day. In my experience, this is what people really mean when they say they feel empowered, right? Lie number 5. People need feedback. Well, what people really need, the truth is attention. Most people have been conditioned to believe corrective, negative feedback is the most effective to help people learn to improve where they're making mistakes and lacking. Well, that's essential. That shouldn't be the primary focus. Research shows us that positive feedback is 30 times more effective at creating high performance and engaged teams. The best team leaders focus on team members' strengths and help the employees apply those strengths to make the most valuable contributions to the team. So they can actually catch their people doing right, and provide them with insight on what they do best. That motivates them, encourages your employees. Research shows that this approach creates an environment of safety, psychologically, physically, where people can feel most creative and insightful. So the next lie. Work-life balance matters most. Well, the truth is finding love in what matters most. Might sound a little corny, but balance, it's not possible because it requires momentary equilibrium, which is impossible in the world that's constantly changing. People actually have a craving for meaning and purpose both in personal work and life work. So the worksite can't find this for you, I'm sorry, but what we can identify is what the employee loves and loathes. That work-life balance is more about love and loathing balance, all right? So hopefully you remember this from the Top Gun training on strengths. The love it or loathe it piece. The best leaders make it your purpose in work to help their people discover what they love, what their strengths are, and what uniqueness they can offer. I challenge you to do this self-reflection. It's an exercise at least twice a year. Spend a week at work writing down what it is you loved and what you loathed that week. Then reflect on those, right? And how can you incorporate those things that you love and reduce the things that you loathe? It can keep you grounded. It can also make you grateful for the things in your job that maybe you take for granted. Consider making that a habit to periodically ask your employees what they love and what they loathe. Regularly, make a note and try to align them with the work that plays to their strengths and what they love to do. Remember, a strength isn't necessarily something that you're good at or skilled at. It's something that you're good at and skilled at, but also something that brings you joy and energizes you while you're doing it. It's a sense of purpose and meaning. Leadership is not a thing that you have or not something about being well-rounded. High-performing leaders have qualities that are specific and unique to them, idiosyncratic. They're distinct to individuals, and they're spiky, right? And they stand out. Why do people follow leaders? Because the leaders focus their energy on creating team environments where the team members have a certain feeling of followership, if you will. Here are those followership. They feel connected to a larger mission and purpose that they believe in. They feel part of something bigger than themselves. Right? They feel that the leader knows the values of them and that they're unique individuals. The employees feel in this followership that they are surrounded by teammates who share their values and define excellence in the same way. They feel their teammates will always have their back. They feel their leader and teammates value their strengths. And they're recognized for the things that they do right, not the things that they're doing wrong. They feel that they're challenged to keep getting better and growing. They feel confidence and optimism in the future. And how do we measure leadership? We have followers rate their individual experiences of their leader, not rating their leader on a list of abstract qualities. I personally believe one of the key performance indicators of a great leader is listening to people and what they say about the leader when the leader's not around. People who defend their leaders in private and talk positively about them when their leader's not present, leadership cannot be reliably measured because it's not a thing. But the followership can be measured. I believe the true job of a leader is to care for their people, to truly understand them, and to look out for their best interest and help them be the best version of themselves.